I quietly left after catching my wife cheating, and she hunted me down a year later, but I was already gone. I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe it's just me getting everything off my chest now that it's all said and done. Either way, here's how I disappeared from my own life and how my ghosted ex-wife hunted me down a year later. 3.5 years of marriage, gone in one night. Back in May 2019, I discovered that my wife, Lauren, was cheating on me. We had a solid life, or at least I thought we did. I worked a contract job as a director for a technical sales company, traveling often but also working from home when I wasn't on the road. Lauren had a high-paying job that demanded long hours, but we made it work. Or so I believed. We met 5 years earlier at a cookout thrown by a mutual friend. From the second we started talking, sparks flew. She was everything I thought I wanted. Smart, beautiful, charismatic. And me? I was rough around the edges, but somehow she loved that. For 1.5 years, it was magic. When we weren't working, we were tearing each other's clothes off. Marriage came next, followed by a shared apartment while saving for a house. But by year 3, things started to shift. Arguments crept in over the smallest things. Her work hours got longer. Her patience got shorter. And worst of all, the sex nearly disappeared. When I tried to talk about it, she got defensive. "I'm climbing the ladder, Jordan. This is what it takes," she'd say, rolling her eyes. And when I pointed out that I could cut back my travel to be home more, she laughed. "You're gone half the time anyway. Why does it even matter?" I should have known. The first real warning sign came in September 2018. Lauren's work engagements went from 1 night a week to 3, sometimes 4. She'd come home late, barely say 2 words to me, then head straight to bed. I wanted to trust her. I was a fool. A month before D-Day, I found a bra under the passenger seat of her car. Not just any bra. Hers. The kind she only wore when she was feeling excited. My stomach twisted into knots. She wasn't the type to change clothes in the car. So why was it there? I didn't say a word. Instead, I did something even dumber. I convinced myself I was overthinking. That night, I made a fancy dinner. Candles, wine, a bouquet of flowers. Anything to remind her of what we had. She walked in, barely glanced at the setup, and sighed. "Oh, babe, I can't. Work thing. I have to meet some people at the bar," she said, already heading toward the bathroom. "I'll have a quick snack with you before I go, though." My insides twisted. I watched her disappear into the shower, and something inside me snapped. I picked up my work phone, walked out to her car, and tossed it in the back seat. Then I went to the kitchen and dumped everything. Dinner, wine, flowers, straight into the trash. She came back out, dressed to kill, hair perfectly styled. "All right, let's eat," she said. "Never mind. Go hang with your co-workers." I muttered. She gave me a weird look. "Are you mad?" "I'm sad," I corrected. "Sad that you never want to do anything with me anymore." Cue the eye roll. "Oh my God, Jordan. Stop acting like a child." I just stood there, watching her grab her purse. Then she smiled a sly, knowing smile and walked out. That's when I knew. This wasn't just work. This wasn't just stress. She was screwing someone else. As soon as she left, I grabbed my spare phone and tracked my work phone in real time. She wasn't even trying to hide it. 20 minutes later, she parked outside a bar downtown. I drove over and waited, heart pounding, stomach in knots. An hour passed before she stepped out, hand in hand with some guy in a suit. He kissed her. She kissed him back. They climbed into his car and drove straight to a hotel. I followed, parked outside, and watched them disappear inside together. And that was it. I wasn't even angry. I was just numb. I sat there, staring at the steering wheel, waiting for the rage to hit me. Instead, I felt nothing. Nothing except the realization that my marriage was over. I put my car in drive and left. I didn't go home. I didn't call her. I didn't blow up her phone with furious texts. Instead, I drove aimlessly for miles until I found a tiny roadside bar in the middle of nowhere. I ordered a whiskey and sat there, staring at the glass. "You look like you just saw a ghost," the bartender, a woman in her 40s, said. I gave a bitter chuckle. You could say that. A guy sitting beside me turned and smirked. Heartbreak or betrayal? I glanced at him. Both. He nodded. Yeah, been there. Something about him was easy, like talking to an old friend. His name was Ray, and after a few drinks, I told him everything. He listened, then shrugged. You got two choices, man. Stay and suffer, or get the hell out and start fresh. I frowned. Easier said than done. Not really, he said. I got a mobile trailer on my land. Ain't much, but it's a place to breathe. If you want to disappear for a while, it's yours. I hesitated. Then the bartender chimed in. If I had a chance to get away from my cheating ex, hell, I'd be gone yesterday. And just like that, it clicked. I wasn't going to fight for her. I wasn't going to beg for answers. I was done. Lauren could keep the apartment. Keep her secret rendezvous. Keep her goddamn excuses. I was leaving. And this time, she wouldn't see it coming. I woke up the next morning with a headache. Not from alcohol, but from the weight of what I had seen the night before. The moment Lauren kissed that guy, my world shifted. It was like someone flipped a switch inside me. I had no interest in confrontation. No yelling, no begging, no dramatic showdowns. She had already made her choice. Now it was my turn. I had one mission: disappear. Ray wasn't just some random guy at a bar. He was a guy I needed at that exact moment. The man had wisdom in his eyes, like he had already been through the same hell I was about to walk through. You serious about that trailer? I asked him over breakfast at the diner next to bar. He sipped his coffee. Depends. You serious about leaving? I nodded. Well, then yeah, I'll even haul it up to my land for you. You just gotta do one thing, never look back. And that was exactly what I planned to do. For the next 2 weeks, I played the perfect husband. Lauren was too wrapped up in her work to notice the changes. She was more polite, maybe even a little guilty, but that didn't matter. I wasn't there to fix things. I was there to prepare. Every day, while she was at work, I moved small things out of the apartment. My clothes, my laptop, my tools. I didn't touch our shared items. Didn't give her any reason to notice. Slowly, methodically, I erased my presence. She never questioned it. She was too busy being out with coworkers. At night, while she showered or scrolled through her phone, I stared at her and wondered, does she think I'm that stupid? The answer was obvious. She never once considered that I might be plotting my own escape. The last piece of the puzzle fell into place when Lauren told me she was traveling for work. Just a quick business trip, she said one evening, slipping off her heels. Executive team and department heads. Should be fun. I could have laughed. I hope you and your boyfriend have a great time. I wanted to say. Instead, I just smiled. Sounds nice. That was the perfect opportunity. As soon as she left for the airport, I went to work. I packed the last of my things and left behind anything we had bought together. She could have it all. The furniture, the TV, the framed photos of us smiling like fools. None of it mattered anymore. Before walking out the door for the last time, I left 2 things on the kitchen table. 1, a short, 5-word note. I hope it was worth it. 2, my wedding ring right on top. And just like that, I was gone. Ray wasn't lying. His land was beautiful. A small clearing nestled between pine trees, with hiking and biking trails nearby. The trailer was humble but perfect. It had running water, electricity, and just enough space for me to breathe. It wasn't just a place to crash. It was a rebirth. For the first time in years, I felt like I was in control. I ran every morning, clearing my mind on the trails. I helped Ray with odd jobs around his ranch. I cut back on drinking because, honestly, I didn't need it anymore. And Lauren? She was nothing but a ghost now. I ignored every call, every text, every voicemail. At first, her messages were casual. Hey, just landed. Hope your weekend's good. Had dinner with the team, heading to bed soon. She thought I was still at home. She had no clue that I had vanished. Then, 3 days later, she got back from her trip, and all hell broke loose. Where are you? Why aren't you answering? Jordan, this isn't funny. Call me. Silence. Her mother called. Ignored. Her texts turned more desperate. I don't know what you think you know, but it's not what you think. Please talk to me. We can fix this. I love you, Jordan. Don't do this. I almost laughed. Oh, so now you love me? A week passed. Then came the confession. I'm sorry, okay? I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I was just caught up in work and stress, and you were gone so much. I never wanted to hurt you. Ah, there it was. The classic. I didn't mean to cheat speech. As if that made it better. I didn't reply. And that's when her messages turned vicious. You're a coward. You don't even have the balls to face me. You're just running away because you can't handle the truth. That last one made me laugh out loud. I had handled the truth just fine. That's why I left. Lauren didn't take my disappearance well. She tried everything, calling, texting, reaching out to old friends. She even went as far as contacting my parents. But they didn't have much to say to her. They barely had much to say to me before all of this. So she was wasting her time. The messages came in waves. First, it was desperation. Then guilt. Then anger. She wanted control back. And when she realized she had lost it, she lashed out. I stayed quiet. Every time my phone buzzed, I ignored it. Eventually, I got a new number and let my old one die. I wanted nothing tying me back to that life. But that didn't stop Lauren. She wasn't the kind of woman who accepted defeat easily. She started showing up in places she thought I might be. Coffee shops we used to go to, stores I liked, even my old gym. She was hunting for me. And one day, she found me. I had gone into town to pick up supplies, grabbing some coffee before heading back to the trailer. I was in line, staring at my phone when I heard my name, Jordan. My stomach tightened. I knew that voice. I turned around slowly, and there she was, Lauren, standing just a few feet away, looking at me like she had seen a ghost, which, in a way, she had. She looked different. Maybe it was the stress, maybe it was regret, but she wasn't the confident woman who once held all the power in our marriage. She looked lost. I've been looking for you, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't answer. I just stared at her, waiting to see what she would do. She took a step closer. Can we talk? I exhaled sharply, shaking my head. There's nothing to talk about, Lauren. She swallowed hard, her eyes searching mine for something. Anything. I messed up, she admitted. I know that, but can you at least let me explain? I let out a dry chuckle. Explain what? How you lied. How you snuck around. How you thought I'd never find out. My voice was calm, but the anger simmered underneath. She flinched. I didn't think. I was stupid. I let myself believe it wasn't a big deal. But the second you left, I realized how much She stopped, catching herself. How much I lost. I folded my arms. You didn't lose anything, Lauren. You threw it away. That hit her. She blinked, as if trying to push back tears. Jordan, I just want to fix things. Please, let's just talk. I could feel people around us pretending not to listen, trying not to stare. I sighed. Fine. 5 minutes. We stepped outside, sitting on a bench near the street. Lauren took a deep breath. I quit my job, she said suddenly. That caught me off guard. Why? She looked down at her hands. After you left, everything fell apart. People found out about, my reputation tanked. My boss made things unbearable. I couldn't stay. I didn't feel bad for her, not even a little. She made her choices, and now she was living with them. So now what? I asked, you track me down and think we'll just go back to how things were? She shook her head quickly. No, I needed to see you, to tell you I'm sorry, and to ask, is there any chance? Any chance we could try again? I stared at her, then let out a slow breath. Lauren, no. Her face crumbled, but she nodded like she expected it. Okay, she whispered. I get it. She wiped at her eyes, then forced a small, sad smile. I won't bother you again. And just like that, she stood up and walked away. I watched her go, waiting to feel something. Regret, sadness, anything. But I didn't. I just felt relief. I finished my coffee, got my supplies, and drove back to my new life. Lauren had finally let go. And so had I. Weeks passed. Life in the mountains became routine. I ran every morning, helped Ray on the ranch, and spent my evenings enjoying the quiet. The nightmare stopped. The anger faded. I was finally at peace. Then, one afternoon, Lauren reached out one last time. She sent an email. No pleading, no accusations, just a simple message. I'm moving. Thought you should know. I'll be leaving town next week for a new job. I won't bother you anymore. Take care. That was it. No emotional outpouring. No dramatic last attempt. Just a quiet acknowledgement that it was over. I stared at the screen for a long time. A part of me had expected her to keep pushing, to never truly let go. But now it seemed like she had finally accepted reality. And I had too. I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. The next morning, I drove into town to grab some supplies. As I stepped out of my truck, I saw her across the street. She was loading a suitcase into the back of a car, her face unreadable. For a brief moment, our eyes met. She hesitated, then gave a small nod. I returned it, and then she was gone. I stood there for a moment, watching the car disappear down the road. There was no sadness, no anger, just finality. The chapter was closed. I turned, walked into the store, and never looked back. A few weeks later, I found myself reflecting on everything that had happened. Sitting outside the trailer one evening, sipping a cold beer, I realized how much had changed. The weight that once pressed down on my chest was gone. I was lighter, free. Ray noticed it too. You seem different, he said one night as we sat by the fire pit, watching the flames dance. I feel different, I admitted, like I can breathe again. He nodded, tossing another log into the fire. Good. That means you did the right thing. The right thing. It was strange how, for so long, I had convinced myself that staying, enduring, fixing things was the right thing. But it wasn't. Walking away was. Saving myself was. One afternoon, while running the trails, I ran into Samantha again, the woman I had met months ago when she had a flat tire. She smiled as I approached, wiping sweat from her forehead. You always out here? She teased. Only when I need to clear my head, I said. She laughed. So every day, then? I grinned. Something like that. We talked a bit longer, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a spark. Not the desperate, obsessive kind of attraction that blinded me before, but something lighter, easier, real. Maybe I wasn't as closed off as I thought. Maybe moving on wasn't just a theory. That night, I lay in bed, staring up at the ceiling of my trailer, listening to the crickets outside. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't haunted by memories of Lauren. There was no bitterness, no regret, just peace. I had finally won.